Remember in Spectre when they say, "The dead are alive"? That literally sums up this movie.
No dejaré de quererte. No dejaré de quererte.
Before we begin today's review, I just wanted to get this out of the way. I shan't make any comparisons to the animated movie that Coco has been constantly compared to ever since the trailers came out, The Book of Life. Because, guys, thankfully, Coco is nothing like The Book of Life. It doesn't resemble it in any way, shape or form, nor is this a rip-off. Apart from the fact both take place in Mexico, that is thankfully where the similarities end. The Book of Life is a love story, and Coco isn't, let's just say. Coco, directed by Lee Ernkritsch, and is the 19th Pixar movie overall. So Coco tells the story of inspiring young musician Miguel growing up in Mexico, who has disowned his family for hating on his dream of becoming a musician, all because in the past his great-grandfather Hector abandoned their tradition of shoemaking to become a legendary musician. So one night Miguel enters the tomb of Hector, plays the guitar and unintentionally transports himself into the land of the dead, and he can only return to the world of the living if his family gives him a blessing. But they'll only give him a blessing if he abandons music, to which he seeks Hector, so that Hector will hopefully give him the blessing. Now, Coco is the follow-up Pixar movie from their previous one, Cars 3, which wasn't their most loved. I totally guess it's, but I enjoyed it. Now, I know all of you are asking in the comment section, Harry, where's your extreme rant on the Star Wars holiday special that you promised? It will come, guys. Thank you ever so much for being patient. It is in the works. I'm overjoyed. I finally have the opportunity to go and check out Coco. I'm a little jealous that the US got to see this beautiful Pixar movie literally 2 months before us in the UK. How unfair. But I'm overjoyed. I finally have the opportunity to go and check out Coco. I'm a little jealous that the US got to see this beautiful Pixar movie literally 2 months before us in the UK. How unfair. But believe it or not, I didn't have my hopes up for Coco since the trailers just made it look like a bland rip-off of The Book of Life, even though it isn't. And at the time, I just thought this is going to be one of Pixar's weaker movies, but man, guys, I was wrong. Coco surprised the hell out of me. This is the most surprising Pixar movie yet, thank God. So going into my positives, we have a lot of ground to cover. I need to say how sensational, how outstanding the animation is in this movie. This is one of the greatest triumphs of animation of the 2010s, especially in the Land of the Dead sequences. The stars of the movie in the Land of the Living, yes, Mexico looks pretty and all, but once they get to the Land of the Dead, that's when the movie explodes with imagination and creativity. I have never seen world building from Pixar on this scale. They've created their own unique world. They made the Land of the Dead literally feel so alive. I never thought any studio could accomplish that, but it's the Land of the Dead full of wonderful, colourful skeletons and creatures, extraordinary creatures, and astonishing landscapes. This is a Land of the Dead that you'd love to take a vacation to, and it actually shows you the world instead of telling you. No exposition required. As well as this movie, it captures the spirit of Mexico, and it would make you want to take a vacation to Mexico. I'm certainly booking my tickets to Mexico after this movie. And as for the characters, Miguel is such a confident and talented and relatable hero, since he just wants to follow his dreams and play music, and he's intrigued by his history and his ancestors who inspire him to play music in the first place. And at first he disregards his family because they want him to follow a different path to what he has in mind, but once he meets up with Hector, he realizes perhaps I should be more grateful for my family, and that is a bold message for any family movie. You know, we should all follow our dreams, but without our family, at the end of the day, we'll be alone. And Hector helps him realize this. Hector is such an awesome a character, and Miguel is such a confident and talented and relatable hero, since he just wants to follow his dreams and play music, and he's intrigued by his history and his ancestors who inspire him to play music in the first place. And at first he disregards his family because they want him to follow a different path to what he has in mind, but once he meets up with Hector, he realizes perhaps I should be more grateful for my family, and that is a bold message for any family movie. You know, we should all follow our dreams, but without our family, at the end of the day, we'll be alone. And Hector helps him realize this. Hector is such an awesome a character, and he's he's extremely sympathetic and my favourite of the characters in the entire movie. There's such an emotional backstory with him about his daughter, and I won't give anything away, but the twist at the end, it connects everything in the story together in a heart-wrenching and heartfelt way, and I got emotional by the end of this movie. I cried 3 times from start to finish in this movie, approximately. The bond between Miguel and Hector, the bond between grandson and great-grandfather, is beautiful. It's that strong, and I loved spending time with even the side characters. They were hilarious and lovable, especially Miguel's dog. He was Miguel's best pal. That was helpful along the journey, as well as Miguel's grandmother. Wow, she's delightful, as well as the guys in the Land of the Dead. And I just love the concept of bringing the Land of the Dead and living together. It lets you know your ancestors never truly leave you, whether you're alive or dead. We're still family. That's another strong message of this movie, the importance of family. And although several other animated movies have done this concept numerous times in the past, like with The Corpse Bride and The Book of Life, Coco executes this premise the greatest way I have ever seen, and thankfully Michael Giacchino has redeemed himself. This is his most wonderful score in years. It captures beautifully, enhances the emotional drama, and captures the heart and soul of Mexico. And as for negatives, thankfully I have no negatives with this movie. It's totally a perfect Pixar movie, and will rank up there as one of their top 10 movies in my point of view. So if you haven't seen Coco and you're like me and you're from the UK, go and see it right now. Why aren't you getting your tickets this very moment? And I'm ever so pleased you guys in the US and Canada got to see this work of art in November. And while I enjoyed Cars 3, I can't deny Coco is certainly the better movie of the two. I give Coco 5 stars out of 5. Best movie ever. what could have been just a meh rehash of the Book of Life and could have been one of Pixar's worst turned out to be one of their best. It's turned out to be a poignant, moving and beautiful animated movie from the geniuses at Pixar. Well, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Coco? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google Plus and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.